Welcome YouTube, welcome Twitch to another bit of racing, and today we're doing something a little different as well. Since there was a lovely guide on how to increase the resolution of the Oculus Quest Link, which if you look in the description down below on the YouTube channel, you should be able to see. Somebody's already said hello. Hello, Sage Cedar. Sorry, didn't see that yet. It's going to come through at some point. Yeah, been a little bit of time. Right, so as you can see, I'm wearing an Oculus Quest, and it's linked in via a Amazon cable. And I've upped the resolution on this headset by changing something in the debug tools. So I'm going to show you what those look like. Now, it will be in the standard... Okay, so your PSVR got a black screen of death. That's shocking. My CV1 is going that way, and you've got an Oculus Quest for Christmas. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's really good. Yes, I do. This is an Amazon's Basics USB 3 cable, and I also have another extension. But the Amazon Basics USB 3 cable works. Obviously, you need a PC that's powerful enough to play Steam games, but you can play Steam games and Rift games. And today we're going to play Assetto Corsa. That's the original Assetto Corsa, but I've upped the resolution a little bit. So if you were to go to the main install version folder on a PC of the Oculus Quest, well, sorry, your Oculus desktop stuff there, and you'll see in here there is a thing here that says Oculus Link, and it says distortion curve, and I've got low. Yeah, 64 gig is enough on the memory, I think. And then obviously, you know, 64 gigs of RAM. Yeah, that is too much RAM. 32 would be fine. The rest of it is all specs on when it comes to the PC side. So I have this set to low here, and I have the encode resolution width set to 2912. Now, that is recommended by a member of the Oculus staff. As I said, in the description down below, there is a link to their guide as to what graphics cards and what settings you should use to put that on. It also is, as you can notice here, up here I've got pixels per display pixel override, and I've set that to 1.2. Now, if you have a PC that's enough, set it to there and that, and basically that's around about the magic source area. So you've got to remember, with per pixel display, that is like your super sampling. Now, this, the debug tool uses pixels per degree. So when you say 1.2, that's an increase of 44%. If I was to put that to 2, for example, that would mean an increase of 300%. You've got to remember as well that anything you do in software has an effect. So, wow. Cool, Sage Cedar. Good to have you by as always. Thanks for dropping in. Please press the like. And anybody else that's joining as well, if you haven't, please press a like. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year. May 2020 be good for you. It sounds like it's starting on the right foot, because you may have ended up with a dead PSVR, but you've got an Oculus Quest, which is really cool. Right, where are we? So, if you haven't joined, of course, and you're looking at this back, please think about hitting the subscribe and hitting the notification bell if you want to be aware of when these go live. And, you know, comment, join in. We like that type of thing. I try to answer as many comments and different things like that as I can. So there we go on that. Right, other things. Oh yeah, if this stream goes on quite a bit, sometimes they do when they're a little bit different. I will try to put some timestamps in the description down below and in the comments so that you can skip to them. But of course, feel free to skip through, and I'll try to wrap everything up, my thoughts and things like that, at the end. Now, I haven't tried this while streaming. I've tried this off of stream, and I have to say I am hugely impressed with what the Quest can do with these override settings in the Oculus debug tool. I'm so impressed that with certain games, it honestly does look closer to a HTC Vive Pro in here for PC games. On the default settings, I think it's closer to the CV1, but with these settings pumped up, it's so much closer to what you get in terms of sharpness and what's available in the Vive Pro. So that's a massive jump in resolution. And with something like driving games, that is just mind-blowing for this sort of price range and the portability and everything else. The only thing, of course, is the Quest is not as comfortable as a CV1 or as comfortable as what, say, a Rift S is. Hey, JD. Yeah. Have you tried it with the Quest and these settings that I've got up here as well for AC? Because honestly, I think that the closest you're going to get is the Vive Pro, because the monitors in here, the panels in here, though they're only 72 FPS, or they can be pushed to 90, but it doesn't work like that for the Quest Link. Its sharpness looks just as good as a Vive Pro to me. The Vive Pro is a little bit on the lighter side, but let's get into some of this. So we're going to put that bit away, and which bit was that? That's that window. And you can see in the background here, we're going to actually start the speech chat up so that I can hear you guys. Boom. Right, I should now be able to hear the speech chat when you speak. How you doing, by the way, JD? And anybody who hasn't checked out JD on his Twitch, go find him on Twitch. He's a lot better at racing than I am, because he puts in the time to practice enough to make me look silly at this.
Secrets of says, Hiya Salsa. Secrets of, says. Hiya JD. JDMAX
Hey,
the Sim
secrets.
Racing Cat, says. And good man, just taking it easy ATM.
Excellent.
The VR Realm, says. Hey Salsa. JDMAX
Hey,
the
VR.
Sim Racing Cat, says. Lol, thanks dude.
You're quite welcome. You are. I know you're a lot better at this than me. Right. So, I need to move across desktops. Sorry, I need to move across desktops, which means I need this so that I can see in here what I need to see. So, okay, we have Content Manager. I'm just going to jump straight into this. So we're going to take a Lamborghini Huracan GT3 and we're going to go to Spa because it's a combo that I know a bit. Obviously, I have been playing a lot of Assetto Corsa
This one guy IKN0W
different.
says. So how's the quest link? Worth it?
In this case, very much so. It varies from software to software, from, you know, game to game. But for the original Assetto Corsa, which I think is still on sale, it may not. I think the entire thing was on sale for Steam for about £8 for everything, all of the content. Now, I've set this up so that it pushes the resolution up higher than normal, so it's maxing out the resolution that's coming to the headset. Right, we're gonna just do a quick sort of timed lap type of thing around here, and you're gonna see how it looks. And honestly, this makes the CV1 look bad because I can actually read all of the writing on the LCD that's in front of me there. So that timer, I can read that timer that's just come in. I can read what those buttons say just about. They're just about in focus for me. Yeah? So it's just that damn sharp. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at the clarity on some of this as well. Yeah? I can read all of the text down here.
JDMAX the
the
Sim
main
Racing Cat,
ignition, everything.
says. We can't see the car. Vita to VR, says. Good evening. JDMAX the Sim
Oh.
Racing Cat.
You can't see the
Says.
car.
It's on the info screen still.
1 second. My mistake. I shall fix that momentarily. See, this is some of the things sometimes.
This one guy IKN0W says. You have to add in-game capture too. This one guy IKN0W says. Assetto has menu and in-game.
Just a second, just a second. I know what I did wrong. Boom. There you go. I forgot to put the Assetto bit, so I've got one for manager and one for Assetto. There you go. So, there. You shall now be seeing what I see. Okay, there we go. That's good. So, the important thing is... There we go. Set in position. Hands are about the right place. See, the timer that's going in there.
Ta-da.
Ta-da! Just like magic, I like it. Yeah, so I can actually read the timer.
JDMAX the Sim Racing Cat says. Holy crap, I can tell the difference already.
I know, it's awesome, dude. Right, let's just take this for a whirl around here. And oh yeah, I always forget this with the thing. I need to use the mouse to do that.
This one guy, IKN0W, says, I have heard WMR, the best tracking with great resolution. This one guy, IKN0W, says, able to read all the small bits usually.
Are you on, sorry, a second. Put me a little off there, just a minute. I need to be able to turn the main game volume down. Ooh.
This one guy, IKN0W, says, got the Windows HP mixed reality.
Yeah, you gotta remember, not every, when you say...
This one guy, IKN0W, says,
you mean the...
some have great picture but not so great tracking.
Yeah, do you mean the reverb? You mean the HP reverb? Because just saying HP mixed reality, there's two headsets. One HP
this
that's
one
crap,
guy, IKN0W,
and one that's the reverb.
Says, nope. This one guy, IKN0W, says, the HP. This one guy, IKN0W, says, I know, haha.
Yeah. So, you have to be very specific about Windows mixed reality headsets, and I hate that Microsoft coined that term of, well, named their things mixed reality, because it's totally misleading for everybody, because all of their mixed reality headsets are, in fact, VR headsets. So you've got the HP one, which is the one that's got the thin bar along the top, and then you've got the reverb one, which looks a lot more like the Oculus Rift. Which one do you have? If you can read all the text, I'm guessing that you've got the reverb.
This one guy, IKN0W, says, yeah, looks like RoboCop, I love it, lol. Vita to VR, says, I agree, salsa, silly naming. Secrets of, says, the chat voice has a sexy voice, but I'd be using gaffer tape after a few hours of that voice, lol. This one guy, IKN0W, says, the regular HP one, I said. I know there is the reverb one.
Yeah, no, the regular one is not going to hold a candle to how sharp it is in here. I know what you're seeing on the screen there, but this is going to be that bit sharper than what you get in the normal HP, definitely. I've only used the HP very briefly, though. So, it can vary, but really, really good, clear
This one
image.
guy, IKN0W, says, still on a Logitech wheel, though. This one guy, IKN0W, says, that kinda kills the experience.
No, it's all good. Let's restart this session. I need to do something about the overall thing. I'm going to go round on this lap.
JDMAX for some racing cat. Says, what?
Cold tires.
KN0W says, Logitech uses the old Helix or gear force feedback system, that's why everything else has moved on to belt motors and direct drive. This one guy, KN0W, says, JDMAX for some racing cat, says, my G29 is awesome. I just changed my brakes though. Grabbed CSLLC pedals. This one guy, IKN0W, says, trust me, I have a decent four-wheel setup. JDMAX for some racing cat, says, I love the gear drive. This one guy IKN0W says, thinking about those two JD maps.
Between
This one guy IKN0W says, the CSL pedals.
it's smooth as anything in here as well. Of course, there's nobody else on the track at the moment, so that doesn't tell you much about frame rate because at the moment there is just me.
JDMAX the Sim Racing Cat says, yeah, having a low tool changed the game for me. So much more control.
Yeah, changing pedals changes more than the steering wheel.
This VR says, what's the experience like compared to CV1? Other than resolution. JDMAX the Sim Racing Cat says, it looks really good salsa. Pretty blown away, this is a quest.
Of this, just as the first impression, with nothing else on the track with me, because of just how much better it's
volume is still very loud, salsa.
Right. Sorry? Yeah, my in-game volume is still very loud. I can't hear a single thing there. So, compared to CV1, basically, the differences between CV1, the Oculus Quest default resolution without it pumped up, the Vive Pro, and then say a Rift S. On a scale, if you go I would rate just the Oculus Link by itself without it being increased as
VR
slightly better.
Says, no, I mean we can't hear you speak when you rev the engine.
Oh, wow.
VR says,
yeah.
Oops, accidental caps.
I can't hear you guys when I rev the engine either. I'm going to exit here and we see if we can change that in Content Manager because that is like, it's great when you're playing it. Sounds fantastic. But it does mean that I can't hear you guys as well.
This one guy IKN0W says, don't need to exit. This one guy IKN0W says, can bring up menu in-game.
No, I can't bring the menu up in-game because I am using Content Manager. So
Madman in Black the Game Cat
the
says,
menu in-game.
Happy New Year, can't stay long, just popping in to say hi.
Hey,
JDMAX the Sim Racing Cat says, yeah, just need to turn the in-game sounds down is all.
Yeah.
This one guy IKN0W says, look to the right when you're in-game, can adjust on the fly to get it where you want. This one guy
no, you need to go back to the
IKN0W
start point there.
says, I use Content Manager as well, LMAO.
Okay.
This one guy IKN0W says, I know what it is. This one guy IKN0W says, I'm an actual sim player, I know lol.
Right. So, coming back into this, because I've got content, I want to do it from Content Manager because it's there. There are menus, and I always get thinged with ACC because I'm so much used to PC cars too,
VR
that
says,
race room,
anyway,
not my main one. But we're going to go so that I can get to there, because I also want to put more cars on the track. I don't want to just do that in menu. I want to change what I'm doing, because you've seen it with just the single car on a track performance. Getting back to the other point
This
I've got
one
here.
guy IKN0W says, okay, was just saying you can in-game. You said at first that you couldn't, not that you wanted to do it in CM. This one guy
It's a bit...
IKN0W says, LUL. This one guy IKN0W says, easier if you explain yourself properly.
Yeah, it can be a bit much when you're trying to do a few things on here. So it should be settings, audio. So there's all our audio settings, which I'm just going to pull the entire thing down on the master because that's a little bit much. Let's put that about 50% of what it is, because that was just so loud. Great. That should hopefully make that so I can hear you guys better, and you guys should be able to hear me over over the sounds there. Oh boy. Okay. You can obviously hear that I'm not 100% myself either. Right, so that's my audio turned down. And we're going to change this around a bit. So at the moment, I've got no other cars in there because I'm just doing sort of like a
Madman in Black the Game Cat
there.
says, sounds like you got rid of a cold there, Salsa.
Yeah, I do, and unfortunately it's also given me some dizzy spells, which is not great. So we're going to just do sort of like erase. Grid type, same car, we'll give it, say 12 opponents. I'll start 9th. Opponents, we'll keep it pretty much as, I don't need penalties. Disabled, starting position 9th. Same car or... same racing class. There we go. So we've got a bit of variety on the track. I'm going to keep everything else the same. And we're just going to jump in and see how it goes. It's probably going to go terrible because, like I say, I don't play AC nearly enough. It is an amazing game and it's got such a huge amount of variety. But I've been compelled by ACC a bit more.
Vita to VR.
But the performance
says,
there isn't the same.
do you know we
here.
can't see the game, mate?
Yes, I know you should be able to see. Oh, what's going on? This is my first time doing ACC, Assetto Corsa as a stream. So there's a few things, there are a few lessons to learn here. Obviously, it's a live stream, things going wrong. Okay, what's happened now? Aha! There we go. Something got tweaked.
Vita to VR says, it's all good.
Yeah, live streams, don't you know? Right, so let's go back to there. So we're going to have still same car, same track, just more cars, opponents on it, same everything else. Hopefully the volumes will be at a good point now. Hopefully I will be able to keep up with this. Like I say, I don't play Assetto Corsa enough. I've been playing Competizione and I've been playing Race Room a lot more, but Race Room's not working well with the Link, whereas this is working really nicely with the Link. So I wanted to show something that's really good result of playing with the Quest and the Oculus Link and pushing it to its limit so that we can get something that is a lot better results than I ever thought possible from this headset via the Oculus Link. And that's really the thing of this stream, to give people out there something who, if they've got the Quest,
Vita to VR,
they've got the PC to run it.
We have a black screen now.
What is going on? Oh, that's really weird. Is there something? Oh, there's a cable pushing something, maybe. Ah. My glasses frame, my glasses was sitting on one of my macro buttons that changes
Madman in Black, the game cat,
the arrangement around.
That's better. Vita to VR says, grinning face with big eyes.
What else can go wrong today already? Right, I'm turning the fan on. It's getting hot in here already as well. So, yeah. Hopefully the scene won't switch around now for my glasses being on top of the macro button on my keyboard. So you will see game and my feet when they come in, yes, and me and anything that I do to Content Manager, and then the game loading over the top when it's there. Fingers crossed for us, people. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it works.
VR says, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, I bet it is. Not from where I'm sitting. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's, I want monitor one. That there. Quick sip of this. Right, let's jump into this, shall we? And we'll find out if the volume here is okay now, or if it's a bit off.
Vita to VR says, no man, it's fine. Got to get through the hiccups of streaming with the link for the first time, plus watching where your glasses are. P.
Yeah, obviously I've got lenses in here that are good. By the way, so people can obviously see, here's the settings as the person before was saying, so that I can change all different things in there and other settings and all sorts of whatnot. But we're not going to get into all of that. We're just going to go for it, have a bit of fun. I'm not taking this very seriously at all. It's just to see how good it performs via the Quest Link when this resolution scale has been put up. And I mean, look at that beast over there. Oof. Oof. That looks good. Right. Not the best of starts. That McLaren down the side there. Hopefully the audio is a little better. I think maybe you could turn it down a little bit more. That was not good driving. I got scared there. It's just so nice and clear. And they're going to run away from me. Not braking enough. Wow, they're fast. Oh, wow. That was pretty bad. So restart that session.
Vita to VR says, nudged.
Yeah. No, they didn't nudge me. I messed that up. Basically, I couldn't hold it right. That was all me doing bad. Like I said, I haven't played this game anywhere near enough, so I've probably got them set to a little bit too aggressive or a little bit too good for me. I've got a lot of work
Vita to VR
do.
says, I was trying to be kind.
That's okay, don't be kind. Messed up again, damn it. You don't need to be kind. I know I'm not that kid.
Vita to VR
But
says, I have to go salsa. Good luck. Enjoy the game, smiley face.
oh, I am, because this is running so perfect. They break so much more
Vita to
than I
VR
would.
says, you know, I was only kidding. See ya.
Practice is the thing that's needed, and I don't get enough time to do that. It's incredible, this thing.
Diz the Game Cat says, you clickbaited me. What's new?
Hey Diz, how you doing? What's new is my CV1 is not working so well, but Assetto Corsa via the Oculus Link and a couple of little tweaks to the settings makes a killer appearance. It's seriously much better performance visually than a CV1 in here when you up the resolution.
Diz the Game Cat says, "That's awesome."
Oh yeah, it is. I'm actually honestly shocked at how good this is. It truly does look what I expect from like the Vive Pro more. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love it. I really do love it. It's just wow. Across the board, it's just working out so well for the Quest Link.
Game Cat says, "I would assume you could get the same visuals out of the Rift S."
The Rift S you can get better. Just because of the sub-pixel arrangement in the Rift S comes up with a much better display than this, just because of the pixel arrangement. That RGB pixel arrangement does help so much. But the performance here is, like I say, it's looking like the Vive Pro, which is incredible. Because, you know, being able to compare a headset that is £400 can do standalone and can be hooked up to a PC to do this. Okay, it was a quick race. Yeah, so, you know, the Rift S is better clarity. I have to say that straight away. No two ways about it. Rift S does beat this for clarity. But not by much. And that's incredible. That this can compete
Dej 1984
with
says, "Hello, Mr. Salsa,
Vive
waving hand
Pro.
like skin tone."
Hey, Deej, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Welcome to the stream. All the likes and comments are always welcome. So, yeah, we're testing this out. We've got the Oculus Quest here, hooked up via the Quest Link. I have some custom settings that's been put in via the Oculus
Dej 1984
tool.
says, "Good, thanks. You?"
Yeah, I am good. Especially with this. This is just... I am so happy with how this is performing. Now, that was with quite a few cars, and that was faultless. That was just like perfect. We're going to go back to the content manager here. Hopefully you guys can see content manager again. Please tell me that you can see content manager and not a black screen, and that my glasses haven't pressed one of my back row buttons again, because that'd be really, really embarrassing. But that was really, really cool. So that was 12 opponents.
Dej 1984 says, We can see fine.
Yay, I've got the setup right. Hopefully the audio balance is a little better as well now, and I can hear you guys okay, and the track noises and cars were kind of good there. So that's good. Opponent's aggression, let's just turn that up a little bit. We don't like, don't 100%. We'll give them sort of like a 20% aggression. Right, just so we can see the other settings I've got going on here. So that you guys know what's going on with my video settings. So, here we go. Resolution is custom. That is all being set by the Oculus tool. So that is being set by... Where'd we go? It's wrong hand. I want the other hand. Where's my other hand? There's my hand. I need this hand. That is all being set by... this. So this is the Oculus debug tool, and you can see there's a thing down here that says Oculus Link, and basically if you've got something like an RTX 2070 and above, you should be good to be about my settings. So this distortion curve has 3 settings. It says default, high and low. Now it works in reverse, so if you want higher detail, the distortion curvature is set to low. High is the same as default. That may change in future. We have an encode resolution width, so that's the total width of the resolution that's being encoded. Now that is actually slightly higher than the 2 panels in here combined. That's to make sure that you get a 1 pixel per degree field, basically, so that when the distortion happens between them rendering the scene and then them putting the distortion over the scene, then shrinking the video down to the output size to the monitors, that it all sort of like goes around the same sort of bit. So it's going to be like the super sampling matches to distortion curves, matches to this, that and the other, so that it results in basically as nice and crisp a display as possible. So that's what that's about. So I've got this Oculus Link stuff, distortion curvature low, and this resolution. If you look in the description down below, there's a link to what the Oculus staff themselves have said and their instructions on how to do that. And it gives a range of settings for a number of different video cards. Right, let's get back to what I've got on there. Oh, I need to turn that off. I don't want that on top. Oh. Right. Drink. For Assetto Corsa itself, here's all of the other settings that I've got, which you should hopefully be able to see. So you've got the normal full screen mode, stuff like that. That's the bit that you guys see. Rendering mode, Oculus Rift, of course. Frame rate, it says 200 FPS, but it's not doing that because it's going to be forced into 72 in here. Pixels per display 1. We don't want to change that because we're changing it in the tool. If you changed that here, it would multiply it by what's on the tool settings, so be very careful about that. Filters, default. Overall quality is maximum. Everything else here, quality, everything is high, basically, or maximum. So pretty much everything has been maxed out. Don't know what more I can think on that. So the previous session's performance, 71.8. It's saying we actually want 72. I'm guessing that it's actually around the 72 forced down, and it's sort of like whatever it's trying to render it from or take it from, but it's working. So we're good there. MSA A times 4, anisotropic filtering times 16, world details maximum. Everything is you know, it's all maxed out, so we're all good there. Right. What we can do, we've upped the opponents. I want to up the number of opponents. And we're going to see what we can do. There, let's start 19th. So we'll have a full grid ahead of us. Let's give a little bit of a longer race duration. 2 laps is not quite enough. Let's just set that to, say, 4 laps. Hopefully I've got enough fuel in there. Okay. We're good, we're good, we're good. We're going to go. Right. This should be fun. Trying to just face the forward part, because obviously when it loads up from here, it's going to go straight into here. So, next bit up, we're just going to go straight in and say hello this way. Track, we'll start it. Not a good start. Oh wow, he's aggressive. Yeah, I saw you, Mercedes. He's just ignoring me. He's like, you're not there, you don't exist. I did it again. No, 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 come on back. Right. That was not
Dr.
good.
Oculus VR says, "Hey man."
Hey Doc, how you doing? As you can see, I'm having fun with the quest. a little bit of an experiment, and I must say I'm so impressed with what the Oculus Link can do with this headset and this game in particular. It really does feel...
Dr. Oculus VR says, all good. How's the Quest Lite treating you?
It's good. The comfort level, of course, would be nice to be a little bit higher, but I'm amazed at the actual clarity of performance you can get out of this. Wow, they really are a lot more aggressive. That extra little bit of percentage has really pushed the aggression up on these AI. How are you, dude? Having some fun? No, I have to say, the clarity in here really does shockingly beat the CV1. The CV1 is obviously a lot more comfortable, but oh boy, it's not got the clarity that you do from the Quest. The Quest's got so much more clarity than I was expecting.
Dr. Oculus VR says, sorry wife came in to chat. In good, thanks man. What cable did you go for the Quest? Dej 1984 says, I like the foot pedal camera.
I'm glad you like that. That's something that's added over the Christmas time. Show you how bad my footwork is. Oh, like there where I totally messed it up. Oh. I so messed that up.
Dr. Oculus VR says, I think he's just trying to get on WikiFeed.
Dude, keep it clean. A necessary thing I think for this type of streaming. It's always cool to see how people are doing with their pedal work. It'll obviously be something for me to look back and see where I'm lacking as well. I chickened out there. Sorry. Possible to take that flat out, I know, but I don't mind saying I chickened. Could have done so much better there. Trying to keep it smooth as well. Leaders on final lap. That was not so good. We was catching them up. I just love how far away in the distance I can see here. I lifted too much there. Could have done better. We just still got to push here though. Push towards the end and see how we do. I'm trying to push my luck a little bit too much there. See what I mean? Oh, no, 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 no. Totally messed it up.
Dr. Oculus VR says, I'm curious to know how they've improved Quest Link support, might even stream Elite in Quest if it's good and working now.
Oh yeah, Elite works actually. Elite Dangerous definitely works. Do take a look at what I've linked in the description. That tells you what you need to know about upping the resolution. Because this isn't the default resolution, it gives you a little bit of a guide to what you can do from which graphics card. And honestly, compared to the CV1, I think the resolution here is just amazing. Brilliant. How else can I put it? It's incredible. The detail, the level of detail in here is amazing. Simply astounding. That's all I can sort of like say on this is if you have got the Oculus Quest and you got Link and you've got a capable PC with something like well, Assetto Corsa works really well in this case. I'm getting good clean frame rates, the motion is feeling good, it's smooth as silk for me, the gameplay wise, and it's as clear
The
as
Arts
I can see it.
XAQUOSY. Thanks for following.
Oh, thank you very much for the follow. That's one more closer to some goals there. Which one did it go on? Was that on Twitch or on the YouTubes? I think that's on the Twitch, isn't it? But that is, thank you very much. Every single follow or subscribe is liked. We want to get to that 1,000 subscribers, of course. Let's have a look at the replay in here. I don't usually click that, but whoa. That is cool. Okay, that was cool. But that was awesome. I liked it. Right, let's change things around a bit. Let's go to a different
DEANODAY. Thanks for following.
Oh, thank you for the follow. That's really, really cool. So, yeah. I'm going to do a bit more because I can. I'm really enjoying this. Though, of course, the one thing I will say about the Quest is it's not the biggest of comfort things. I do have the VR cover back strap thing here, which you can see I'm actually using the Velcro part here to strap my cable in there. I also have prescription lenses in here, and I have a VR cover faceplate interface and all that. I'm using one of the thinner ones that's sort of like the medium, I guess. Now there's an even thinner one, but I do highly recommend getting things to make that as comfortable as possible, of course. And also, if you are a glasses wearer, I can't recommend getting prescription lenses for your headsets highly enough. They make a huge difference to your overall comfort level and the clarity you usually see in the headset. For me especially, I was like, wow, it makes such a freeing difference. But also this type of update that I was showing here, where if you use the description down below, of course, it'll take you to the tutorial or the details of what I've done in terms of setting this up and using the Oculus debug tool. Excuse me. Oh. Oh. Right, I think we'll go to one other race place. Where should we go? Oh, I think we should go somewhere I don't know too well, but I know a little bit. Laguna Seca. Oh, the corkscrew. Ah, the corkscrew is scary. So I think that should be good fun. I think corkscrew.
Dej 1984 says, has there been any more talk about the Link crew doing a Star Trek stream? I think that would be a good one.
We've sort of like talked a little bit about doing it, but it depends on what headsets we do it from as well. It'd be a little bit difficult to set some of the stuff up because just setting up all of the different things to make that work for the Link normally is one thing, but also doing a game stream with all of us, and if we're doing it like to multiple channels and things like that, it all has a bit of an impact, so we haven't quite got there on that one yet. And of course, you know, but it's something that's, you know, talked of us doing some more games where we do co-op.
Mick Click,
you know,
says,
occasionally we do.
I also try Oculus Link since 2 days in Assetto Corsa, but the textures further away look blurry. Did you have the same problem?
No, not really. It does seem a tiny bit, but that's going to be dependent on a few other settings. So, of course, excuse me, I'm going to have to take a throat sweet here because my throat is really starting to go. Right. So as you can see here, depth of field, maximum, the overall quality I've got is all maximum for post-processing. This is where you're going to be dealing with stuff like that, like where this is all to maximum. And the sort of like distances, there's something about distance, so that you may want to turn certain things up and down a little bit. The other thing that you want to do for this is oh, excuse me, 1 second. Oh, right. I'm going to make sure that you've seen that below. So down in the description below, if you haven't done this already, you also want to take a look at this. Is the up here is the Oculus debug tool, which can be found in your main Oculus folder, and if you go from the Oculus folder to sorry, I think it's Oculus Software Diagnosis, and it will be in there. You run Administrator. The important things is in here you've got Oculus Link. Where it says Oculus Link, it's got distortion curvature low. Low is the high setting. And then it's got encode resolution width. These are the things that in combination are going to improve the output quality to the Quest. You also then have pixels per display override. Now, one of the things that is important is that if you're going to use super sampling, which I have here, this is per degree. So 1.2 is actually
Mick Click
44.
says, yes, I did that too.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I think you're kind of at the maximum of where it should get to there. If you've maxed out everything else, you know, it is blurring when you get to the far, far distances. But I'd expect that a little bit. There is a tiny bit of popping on that spar track that's further along, and I think that's how Assetto Corsa in itself does things. So it's a little bit hard to say on that, whether it's an engine. But at this stage, I'm super impressed because from what I'm judging here, from going from a CV1 to a Vive Pro type of setting, is that this is looking a lot closer to what a Vive Pro would look in terms of display.
Mick Click says, but your Assetto menu looks very different from mine. Is it really competizione?
No, it's not competizione. I'm using...
Mick Click says, grinning face with big eyes.
If it was competizione running this smooth with that resolution, I would be overjoyed, because I really, really like the competizione side for its focus on the GT3, and I really like the handling more in competizione now than what's in Assetto Corsa. I think competizione, when it comes to force feedback and handling, is getting into the area where it's now improving on what Assetto Corsa had, and Assetto Corsa is no slouch when it comes to force feedback and all of that type of stuff. So
Mick Click says, my mistake. Mick Click, thanks for following.
You're quite welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. Another person coming along there. That's one more person closer to that goal of 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully I'll get there sometime in 2020. Who knows? Hopefully we will. Hopefully I'll be able to do more streams as well. I'm a little bit up and down at different times. Right. So that's the Oculus debug tool. Where's the right one? That's the one to get rid of there. And we're going to go back to Content Manager. So basically this is Assetto Corsa Content Manager. That's why it'd be different from maybe what you would see as a screen, is because I'm going basically from Content Manager each time. So we've got the video, we've got view and AI as well. So you can see things here that's happening. I don't know if there's anything there that might change stuff. Camera. No. No. Value, pit stops, replays. No. System. No. These skid marks, ghost cars, proximities, pits. So I can't see anything else there. I mean, we've got the maximum of filtering as well, which of course that can blur some things as well. everything is set to max. Anyhow, let's try Laguna Seca. I'm going to mess up terribly. I know I am. But we're going to have some fun. We've got this Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Lovely car. They can be a little bit skittish. But I kind of like that. I like how aggressive Lamborghinis are. Wait for that to load in. Okay. So we've got a very, very full field here. Lots of people. I'm in 19th. So the aim is to try and hold something better than 19th. I doubt that
Bumblebee
I'm going
_
to.
VR. Thanks for following.
Hey Bumblebee, thank you very much for the follow. It's very, very kind of you to give me the follow.
Dr. Oculus VR says, black screen.
Oh, it's
Bumblebee
done that
_
again.
VR says, NP.
Just a moment. I think my glasses must have gone and hit there again. Right, just a second.
Mick Click says, sorry, I have a second question. Do you think with the original cable and official link, not beta, in the future looks better? Or do you mean the imitation cables are the same like the original? Mick Click says, sorry for my bad English.
No, your English is fine. Just a second. I swear that it's basically changing scenes on me. Sorry guys when it does that. There's nothing changing, nothing sitting there. No, that's good. Okay, that's hopefully good.
Bumblebee _ VR says, thought it was just any foire session, hey?
No, it wasn't a night session. Okay, Mick, let's diagnose that a bit. Now,
Bumblebee _ VR says, man, my typos sound bad.
I thought you was switching over to French or something there, Bumblebee. Nick, the cable itself, the official Oculus cable, is still just a USB 3 cable, apart from the official one is a fiber optic based cable. So this cable here, which is a USB 3 cable, just isn't as flexible. It isn't as long either. So for most other USB 3 cables, their maximum length is usually about 3 meters. So this is an Amazon Basics cable, and it's 3 meters long, and that's usually where it maxes out. I also have a active what do you call it? An active relay lengthener one, which is 5 meters, and that works, which is really cool. The Oculus cable by itself is 5 meters. It's a lot more pliable, a lot more maneuverable than this cable. I believe, I don't know if it's lighter or heavier, because I haven't got one, but there has been some speed tests between normal USB 3 cables and the Oculus Link cable, and the Oculus Link cable was substantially faster as a fiber optic cable. So it's mainly to do with technology. This has got, like, you know, a metal core in it, whereas the majority of the Oculus cable is a fiber optic. So it's just the type of technology that's being used to transmit the data that differs. So at the moment, the cable itself, I don't believe will make a difference because it's still within the same spec. At future, if they stepped outside of USB 3 or 3.1 specs, then it would make a difference. I don't think they're going to do that, because that would be, you'd need ports on a PC that support higher. But basically the cable they've built supports crazy amounts of bandwidth at crazy high speeds at a distance which is longer than any other normal USB 3 cable, and is, from all sounds of it, a lot thinner and a lot more malleable at that length. Because if you see, like, the extension cable I've got, can I... This cable here, the other extension cable I've got, is about twice the thickness of this to carry the power needed for the active relay. So it makes it quite unwieldy and quite heavy to drag around with the extra weight of a headset. Whereas the official Oculus cable, of course, is not going to be so unwieldy as a tethered experience. That's the basis behind that. It's not going to make your image any better or worse, really, because that's all down to software settings. Now, in the future, when they've got it out of beta, they may have improved the image quality more again. But from what I'm seeing here and the settings that I've gone to here, it is actually looking much more of what I'd expect of when I'm in a Vive Pro. So having a visual clarity from an Oculus Quest, a headset that I can unplug, put into my case that I have over there, and take anywhere and play VR games anywhere I like, or watch Netflix anywhere I like, is amazing. Being able to then come back home, plug it in, and use it as a headset with an output quality that is on par with a Vive Pro, or close to that level of clarity, is just mind-blowing. It's staggering that that is an actual possibility. So yeah, it's really good. I don't think the cable makes a difference to the quality, though, or the cable, technically speaking, will make any form of difference to the quality. Anyhow, we're getting on with some racing. We've got a hell of a load of cars waiting out here in the heat of the desert for Laguna's Seca. and I'm just hoping I can remember all the corners of this track, and hoping that I don't embarrass myself too much, and hoping that I don't lose it going over that corkscrew, because nothing prepares you for how high the corkscrew turn is, because when you see it obviously on a flat screen, it doesn't really translate to just how much of a drop through the corkscrew there is at Laguna Seca. So yeah, fun times. Bad start. We lost one place already.
Dr. Oculus VR says, "You're just blind right until you're in a barrier." Overstepped it a bit. Down on the good line. Trying to push it a little bit too much and not doing what I should. Okay. Too much. So yeah, the AI is definitely a little bit better than me. Let's have something to chase, shall we? A bit of a guide there.
aggressive. That was uncalled for, wasn't it? What do you reckon, Doc? Right up the exhaust. Gotta keep on him. Put a bit of pressure on him. I chickened there a bit. I could have pushed a little bit closer on the draft there. Such a technical track, this. Amazing to drive, but such a technical track. Oh, but such a joy. I swear I love it. Oh, 18th place. So we started 19th and I wanted to get one more. Was that right? I think that was right. I want to try that again. This is where I start to get addicted to this. It's too good. I know this kind of practicing and stuff like that, but I need the practice because you know, I'm not as good or good enough. As you can see, the AI is only at 90. Check that out with the mirrors as well. Even the mirrors, I can see those cars stretching down in the background behind me. That is so awesome. And I do love that I can see my dials there. I can read everything I need to read. I can see as far as I need to see into the corners. Textures do fuzz away a bit into the distance, not too bad. Everything else is clarity. There's nothing really fuzzy. Everything does look sharp to me. Choice of textures on the on-screen stuff here on the overlay is not the best fonts, I think. I think that's the font of the game and not how the settings are. I'm going to try that again, though. We got to try that again. We got to try that again. See if I can get any better. Well, here we go. Oh, I hate it when it does this. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. I can't get to.
Bumblebee VR says F1. Bumblebee VR says if you can hit it.
I forgot about that. But check that out, though. That just looks beautiful. That's going to be F1. Thank you, Bumblebee. Most kind, but we're going to restart that session, of course. Right. Now it puts us in the right
Bumblebee
place.
VR says, sexy yum yums.
Yeah, it is indeed. Hands are almost in the right place there. Okay, that's my hands matched up. Oops. Tracking. Yes, confirm. Ah! I had it all matched up. See, one problem? That's just one way that I would normally check. Yeah, that's close as it's going to get, I think. A little off. There we go. Yeah, my hand is about there. So that's about lined up. Right, let's do this. That's a better start. Queued up here already. Clear on the right. No, we've got one coming down there. When we get past this Ferrari at some point. Have a bit of a sneak. Oh! That's dropped us a couple of places. So we're in 18th at the moment. See if we can't get something here, maybe.
Apex underscore live stream says, hey, have you gotten any input lag with Oculus Link?
Oh, I'll have to read that back in a minute. But yeah, this is the quest with the Oculus Link. So yeah, this is the quest with the Oculus Link, so it's working so well for this game. No. Oh no, damn it. Input lag. No, I don't have any input lag whatsoever. No input lag. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, basically, no, there's no impact lag that I've got on the Oculus Link at all. if you are having a problem with input lag, then I would suggest looking at your cable maybe is not as good as it should, or something to do with one of your ports, or you've got too much running through the port that you're on maybe, or you've tried to turn some setting up that's not quite right. But I haven't got any import lag whatsoever. I've messed this lab up though, and you know, I've got absolute clarity in here as well, so I've actually pushed the resolution settings up as high as I can get them pushed, Apex. And it's all working good for me. It's honestly, the resolution that I'm seeing in here is more akin to what I would expect to see from a Vive Pro. Not quite as good as a Rift S, but that's because of the sub-pixel arrangement. But the sharpness and clarity of the graphics in here is up to that level that I expect of the Vive Pro. There'll be slight differences.
Matt Marjanovic says, does this max out the Quest? I couldn't imagine this being as good as a Vive.
Honestly, this is, in terms of graphical quality, the lack of screen door, the text there, if you can see the timer, you can see even the way down there. So you've got your lap timer and your diff timer. I can actually read the lap timer and the diff timer from here. Yeah, I can read that text. So that is sharp, and it's sharp everywhere. I'm going to go to restart session. So yeah, it's seriously, you've got to remember the Quest, the screens in here are the same resolution screens that you get in a Vive Pro. Yeah, exactly the same resolution screens. The one difference between the Vive Pro screens and these screens is this is an OLED, whereas the Vive Pro is an AMOLED. So the Vive Pro is going to have a bit more brightness and a bit more in the color.
Matt Marjanovic says, how is the motion though? I think the Quest can only do a 72 Hz refresh rate, which is not good compared to the Pro.
I'm not feeling it at all. I've got no problem with the 72 Hz. It's feeling smooth as anything. It's feeling absolutely beautifully smooth. I've not had anything that's really obsessive, jerky. It feels nice and fluid. Obviously it's not as good as 90, but it's nothing that I haven't really noticed. So if you don't notice it, it's all good. The other side of that as well is if you've got a machine that has problems hitting the performance level of 90, which a lot of people in a lot of sims do actually have problems hitting 90, they may be able to hit 72 solid all of the time. I know that's a real problem when I'm playing something like DCS World, where it's a real problem to hit that 90 FPS because that game is so restricted to CPU loading it's single core CPU loaded, and you can hit 72 a lot more comfortable. This, as a headset, was working really well with DCS World as well. And I was able to see inside of the plane cockpits. The detail in the instrumentation was really, really clear. It is with some extra settings though, which you do have to go through the Oculus debug tool to get, which if you are on YouTube, which you are of course, Matt, look down in the description down below and it will give you those settings. Now, I've used a number of headsets. The Rift S is a little bit clearer to see things than the Vive Pro, and that's
Matt Marjanovic
mainly to do with some
says,
other things.
the Quest only has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor and 4 GB of RAM, so a decent PC with a Pro will be much better than this, I would think.
Well, the game is running on the PC. What's in here as a processor doesn't matter. And in fact, the screens in here are capable of 90 FPS, and this is a beta. So maybe in future, who knows, they could unlock the 90 FPS that these, or you know, the 90 Hertz these screens are capable of. And people have done that to the Quest. On standalone mode, they have unlocked it to 90. Of course, all the other software side in the beta link and stuff like that is still going for 72. But who knows, Oculus may unlock that up to the 90 Hertz refresh rate that the screens of the Quest are capable of. So again, you will have the same resolution capability as a Vive Pro and the same possibility to have 90 Hertz. But I think it's actually doing quite well and is quite good at the 72. And like I say, there's sometimes, it depends on the game, on the performance levels. Having that option to choose can be really, really good. But I'm thoroughly impressed with just how good Assetto Corsa looks in here with the altered settings on pushing the res up, which you can find down below. I've got obviously an RTX 2080 Ti powering this. Every setting in the game is maxed out. So it's astonishing that I've got here, you know, a headset that I can unhook, put in a case, take away, play a game elsewhere, come back home, and then plug in. Excuse me. And then use as a PC headset with this type of resolution.
Dar Drunk Gamer says, hey there, pretty eyes beer mug.
Hey, Dar Drunk Gamer, how are you doing? Nice to see you as always. But yeah, so that, I think it's onto a winner basically. Oculus is killing it, especially at this price point, to be able to compete on the sort of level where I'm like, wow. I mean, if I go across, go see Buck, who's got a Vive Pro sitting there on his rig. Honestly, in terms of clarity for this, they are just, they're just shockingly that same similar thing is going on here. The clarity is just rocking it. This is better than my CV1's clarity, much better, And like I say, it's not quite the Rift S, but it is so shockingly close on the heels of the Vive Pro.
Drunk
And
Gamer
that's amazing.
says, I haven't played a VR driving game in a while. I need to get back on it.
You certainly do, dude. It's good stuff, and I know the setup. It takes a while for me to get stuff set up, so I don't get anywhere near
Drunk
the
Gamer
amount of time in that I should.
Oh, you got a foot pedal cam now? Drunk Gamer
Yep.
says, Cam.
Yeah, I got a foot cam. I did have a foot cam previously, but it kept on messing up. So I got a new camera before Christmas, which is kind of a bit of a Chinese knockoff of one of the Razer ones. But it's doing remarkably well. It's actually doing better as a foot cam than what I would have expected from the Logitech. I wanted to get different from the Logitech because if you have two Logitechs on the same setup, they kind of interfere with each other.
Matt Marjanovic
So I was really glad about
says, I like the Quest, but for price difference and not needing a great PC, the Quest is okay. I still can't wait till VR is not first gen anymore. I am ready for the next gen.
Yeah, I mean, Index is
Drunk Gamer
getting close to that.
says, that's pretty cool, dude. You should wear socks with a big toe hole in them for a laugh. Matt Marjanovic says, this game does look great, which is a good sign for the future, but I think if you have a great PC and a Vive or Rift, best to stick with that for now.
Oh, true. I will agree with you on that, unless I've got a problem with my CV1 at the moment. So I'm using this, because my CV1 is now going to a point where it's getting like a black screen, and I don't know if it's due to the update or not. So that's a bit of a problem. But if you have something like a Rift S or a Vive Pro or an Index and stuff like that, or HP Reverb, yes, they are preferred over using the Quest. But to know that you can, if you need it, it's a very good stop fill, or it's stopgap filler in that sense. That it's capable of doing this is amazing. To Drunk Gamer, yeah. If you check on one of my previous streams with the foot cam, one of the
Matt Marjanovic says,
Assetto Corsa
can you do this
ones.
increase of resolution on all the games? If so, that does make the Quest way more appealing in my opinion.
Yes, you can. It's done at the Quest level, so you always look at doing one thing. So you have to remember, screen technology is the thing that drives this stuff. The screens inside of the Oculus Quest are the exact same resolution as the screens that are in a Vive Pro. The only difference between these screens and the screens in a Vive Pro is that these are OLED, whereas the Vive Pro uses AMOLED. So the Vive Pro has got a brighter, more colourful screen layout there. But other than that, they are basically pretty much the same type of deal. These screens are capable of going to 90 FPS as well, but they haven't done that with the Link yet. I'm hoping it's something they will do. We're going to get on with a bit of racing, see if I can do a little bit better. But yeah, it's basically overall settings. If you look in the description down below, there is a link that takes you to the
Dr. Oculus VR
forum.
says, what's the mic like with the Link?
I don't know on that one. It will just be the same as it is. I'm using this ant mic, so I tend to use this separate ant mic anyway, so that's a different thing. I'm also getting the sound through this pair of stainless steel headset, so that's a difference there. So, Mike, I can't really tell you the difference on that one, I'm afraid. But the mic's performance when plugged into a PC is not going to be any difference than when it's as a standalone.
Matt Marjanovic says, this resolution bump seems to require a PC though.
Yeah, the Oculus Link is through a PC. You can't play Assetto Corsa on a Quest without a PC. This is through the Link. So this, for all intents and purposes at the moment, is my Quest acting as a PC headset. But of course, I can also take it away with me. But the resolution bump, there are games that can use the full resolution of these screens in Oculus as well. When you see the home screen, that's all perfectly clear and is
Matt
perfectly sharp
Marjanovic
and everything
says,
else like that.
your cough sounds deep. I'm no doctor, but you might want to get checked out. TGK2K
Yeah, it is
says,
not that great.
good evening all.
Hey, TGK. Where is my... Yeah, no, the cough is not that great. I've got a lot that's going on with that. It's basically it's not really so much a cough. It's where whatever stuff from nasal is going into my throat, which is rather nice. But I think we're going to... I'm gonna have a throat sweet there. Glad to see you've joined TGK. I'm going to play this, then we're going to wrap it up after that, because I will need to sort my throat out a bit, get some sleep, and do the whole work thing tomorrow. Right, let's see how we do. Oh, and if you're watching and you feel like giving the thumbs up, please, thumbs ups are always welcomed.
Matt Marjanovic
and again, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for this tip and video. It is appreciated.
You're quite welcome. There's a load of others on my channel, of course. I'm trying to mark up the longer ones like this, where I've just streamed with times of points of interest as much as I can. So over the next sort of like couple of days or whatever, hopefully this one will also get marked up with a couple of points of interest of little things that I think are of use to people. But what I can say is I'm just super impressed of what can be done with this headset, because I know on the basic settings for the Oculus Link, the defaults, I would compare the performance of the default settings for the Oculus Link to a little bit better than the CV1, but not much. It's really not very quantifiable. Whereas where I've pushed these up, as in the description of the link below, the clarity boost was immediately detectable to me, and I was sort of like, damn. And of course there is a lot less screen door in this headset as well, so it's incredible, basically. Right, let's get this race started. Not the best of starts. That's not bad. We gained a couple of places. But it's all about trying to get the consistency, which that is not consistency, that is bad. That was dreadful taking that corner there. Need to get my head in the game. That was better. Have a sneaky down. Whoa! Did it again. Wow. We'll restart that. I thought I got away with that, but I didn't. The aggressiveness.
Matt Marjanovic says, does this bump in resolution also work with playing games on your Steam games also?
Yes.
If so, this might make me get a Quest to put with my high-end laptop for portable VR showings.
This is Steam. This is the Steam game. This is not something else there. This is when Quest works through Steam, it works the same as a normal tethered headset. So this is the Steam version of Assetto Corsa. So yes is the answer. But of course your laptop would have to have the guts to be able to raise the bar with that as well. So you'd have to test out how you get the settings to find the right balance. So yeah, this is exactly that. The Steam version of Assetto Corsa. Right, let's see here.
Matt Marjanovic says, what other headsets do you have to compare to?
What other headsets have I to compare to? I've used the
CGK2K says, it's running a lot better than the other day.
TGK, the game the other day was Assetto Corsa Competizione. This is Assetto Corsa. So, two different games. This is the precursor to Competizione. Competizione still has a lot of work to do on it, whereas this is a completed game that's matured enough. yeah, don't get Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione mixed up. They are two separate different games. Competizione is the newer of the two, but is not fully baked yet. Sparks flew up there.
TGK2K says, cool, thanks.
No problem, man. Oh, too fast, too fast, too fast. Almost lost it there. Oh, this corner is so scary. Alongside me. Catch him a bit. Him a bit there. 17th. We're only gaining a couple of laps there, but that's because of some of my mess ups. Oh, no, 18th. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. I want to do another one quickly. Let's jump out of here. Need to show you slightly a different track.
Matt Marjanovic says, so now with this new resolution for the price, would you say this is now a much better option than a Rift Pro or even an Index headset? Also, which setting are you using?
Right, so if you are looking at the best experiences, it's going to be a native headset. This compared to a CV1, this is performing better than a CV1. So there is that. I have a CV1 sitting up there, but the CV1 is more comfortable, certainly, and I would use it for comfort more than I would this. But my CV1 is currently like the screens are blacking out. So I'm using this. A Rift S is going to be better for this. If you want to have pure PC stuff, then a Rift S is going to be better, as is a pure Vive Pro going to be better. But the resolution in this game, in this combo, works exactly the same. It's really full on good resolution, and I just think that's incredible that it's capable of doing that. Now, that said, an Index is a different level. The Index is one that I haven't used yet, so going back to previous questions there, which other headsets do I have, or which other headsets do I have to compare to? I've used headsets all the way back into the 90s, so I've used the original virtuality headsets, the VR1s, the Sega VR1 as well, which is another arcade headset, which was again very similar to the virtuality setup that was seen in the arcades here. I've also used the DK2, the CV1. I've used a Pimax 4K. I've used a Vive Pro, Rift S, I don't know, there's another headset that I've used which was a specialist one, which was in Tokyo for Sega, which was used for one of their experiences there. I've also used the Star VR, which had, which is the original Star VR, not the Star VR 1 or Star V1, Star VR 1 NX. The 1 and the 1R EX would be even better. I would love to get my hands on those headsets. Same as Xtal. I haven't used Xtal. Basically, the only headsets I haven't really used are the Vargio, the Cosmos, and the Xtal, the new
TGK2K
Star VR 1.
says, the thing with the Quest is it's both a wireless and now wired headset. It's just amazing bit of kit for the price.
Oh yeah. So, settings that I'm using. So you can see the settings that I'm using.
Matt Marjanovic says, they have 3 different settings based on your video card in that forum.
Exactly.
Are you using the highest setting? Also, what are your PC specifications?
My PC spec is I'm running an i7 9700K at 4.9 gigahertz. I've got 32 gig of DDR4 3200 hertz C16 RAM. I'm running a RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition with a factory overclock. And the settings that are in the debug tool there, this is simply the important thing is where it says here, distortion curvature. Now, important thing with that is low is better. High is worse. So, distortion curvature, low means better, high means worse, default is high. So it's got three settings in there. It's got default, high and low. If you've got a card that's capable of it, do the low, and I believe that's anything that is RTX 2070 and above that they recommended for high. Sorry, the distortion curvature low. So remember, distortion curvature low means good. Encode resolution width, as you can see there, is 2912. Now that is the resolution that is encoding out the total width of video that is being encoded out to the headset, which it should, I think, be a bit over something.
Matt Marjanovic says, what is your pixel density?
It's up the top there. Pixel per display pixel override 1.2. Now remember that this is the Oculus tool. This is the Oculus debug tool. So that is per degree. So that means it's 44% larger than the screen resolution. Okay? So that's before distortion. If you were to put that higher, it would increase a lot more exponentially. So to give you an idea, 2 is actually 300% more pixels. This is 44% more pixels as it stands, and that's enough so that you get after distortion you get 1 pixel to distortion degree, so it matches what the after all the distortion to the image is done, and then the undistortion that you get from the lenses, it then matches out so that you've got a single pixel per your angles of degree across the field. So the very center of the display would have a 0 distortion point, and all the way across the spectrum then means that you have got that same 1-to-1 ratio going across, which means you're getting the best you can get from that field of view type. Anything that you're pushing past 1.2 in terms of pixel density is only going to mean
Matt
that you're
Marjanovic
adding a bit
says,
of
have you
stuff
ever played
there.
on a PSVR? I own quite a few headsets, and due to comfort and field of view and game choices, I seem to prefer my PSVR on my PS4 Pro myself.
I have got a PSVR Pro, PSVR and PSVR Pro. That's where I started out for the newer generation, I suppose, when it comes to 6DoF. I also have I have a Gear VR in there, which I did before buying the PSVR, because I didn't know whether so I was day one of the PSVR and of the PS4 Pro. So if you check back on my channel, you'll see the hundreds of videos, and there are plenty of ones there with me with the PSVR. So yeah, I've played on most headsets. I'm still yet to play on an Index. I have not played any of the Pimaxes are higher than the Pimax 4K.
TGK2K says, the PSVR was my first VR headset and I got the Quest as well.
Yeah. Anyhow, those are my settings there. Like I say, if you push the pixel density up there, all it's really going to do is give you sometimes a little bit of a better line in the distances. It's not going to add too much to it. Maybe you get a little bit better with some textures and things like that. But you're hardly going to see it, and the performance that you're going to be costing yourself in is high cost for smaller return. To give you an idea, I believe 1.4 of the resolution of the PSVR is actually a sweet spot that the devs found in rendering. Where you go much higher than that, you're not going to be able to see the differences there. Right. Where was I? We're going to... So that was my settings and my spec. I want to play one more. It's really late and I shouldn't, but I want to, and I'm gonna. It's not doing my throat or my health any good though. I need to switch across to that screen over there. Where's my thing gone? I need to switch screens. McLaren. Close. Do we want to... We'll change the car as well, actually.
Matt Marjanovic says, I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I hope I do too. I don't want to do that. I keep on... I'm very new to Content Manager. There we go. Change car. Brands. What car should we go with? We want to keep in the same sort of class. I think... Alfa Romeo. McLaren. MP412C GT3 is quite a cool car. If it was the 720, I'd prefer the 720. P1. Or should we go something totally different? I know, we'll do something completely different than the GT3s. I am used to doing the GT3s a lot, obviously. We'll go for something more classic. Come on, let's... Or should we go really crazy? I guess we have to. We've got Lotus types. Everybody likes the 98T. It's a crazy thing to do. I actually had a model of this car as a kid. I also had a model, this is a real classic, the 72D as well. I also had a model of that one. But then you have things like this is like Crazy Town stuff. They're beautiful cars. They're amazing things to look at. What do we reckon? Do we go proper old school? Go to the 72D. A bit of a hark back to when I was a kid, watching this monster on TV. I think we should do. These liveries. This is the most famous livery, though. I think. I had a model of this one, but these are the ones that I kind of, you know, grew up watching more. And then it came through to, you know, the whole thing that Senna would have driven one of these. I mean, it's an absolute beast. It's a monster. I think we're going to go old school.
Matt Marjanovic says, the biggest advantage of the Quest is its completely wire-free experience. In terms of the VR experience, the Quest comes close to the CV1. Matt Marjanovic says, in fact, its display is higher resolution than the CV1 at 1440 by 1600 pixels compared with 1280 by 1440.
Now, that's per eye. Now, don't get confused over the fact that you've got to remember when you play via the Link, it's a PC that's powering it, so you get a lot more of other things there. Right, I'm thinking that I'm going to use this old beast. And we're going to change to Monza. We're going to go to Monza. 23 opponents starting 19th place in Monza. We're going to pull that down a little bit because that strength ratio was a little bit too much. So we're going to put this at about, let's say, 88%, I think is going to be a closer sweet spot for me to possibly beat against some of these guys. We're going to turn that down to just 10% on the aggression. Right, let's try this out. Oh, it's at least one opponent. Filters. Oh, come.
Matt Marjanovic says, the PS4 uses a technique called reprojection to effectively double the frame rate from 60 FPS to 120. Matt Marjanovic says, the native refresh rate of the headset's LCD screen. The Rift and Vive, on the other hand, both cap at 90 Hz. Dr. Oculus
do,
VR
but, hey,
says,
you know.
Right man, I'm going, later all.
Take care, Dr. Ock. Yes, they do, but you've got to remember there's
Matt
different
Marjanovic
stuff there.
Says, for some reason that extra bump in the frame rate really helps me on experience and not getting sick.
Yes, it can do, but you do have a 90 FPS rate in the PSVR as well, and there are some games that use 90 FPS. And the PC headsets can also do a frame doubling. The Index is also capable of doing 60 to 120, or doing 45 to... sorry, it's capable of doing, 45 to 90, 60 to 120, or 72 to 144. Let's change this down a second. Candidates. Okay, I want opponents. Why is it? I can't recall why I can't get rid of this. Why won't it let me? I can't get it to clear.
Matt Marjanovic says, the 144 in Index is very hard to achieve stability-wise due to hardware recommendations, but the knuckle controllers is what interests me the most.
The knuckles are cool, but let's add all 20. We're just going to have all of them there, and then I should be able to go. 20 starting position. I want to be around 11th. Let's go. The knuckles, they are cool, the knuckle controllers, but I do find they're not as comfortable as I would like. But I do like having grips. Right, as you can see, I do have grips on my touch controllers, so that I can do that whole thing of just, but of course you don't have some of the other functions. You don't have the full finger tracking on the touch controllers that you do with the knuckles, but you know. Right, this should be a manual jobby, so wish me luck on this. Gonna need it. That was insane. I should remember I'm in a 1970s car. There is no downforce. How are they? Wow. Oh, that is so scary. Oh. This is the
TGK2K
real thrill of this
says,
stuff.
F1 VR would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
Matt Marjanovic says, the field of view on the PSVR and comfortably for a long-term playing is why I seem to keep coming back to playing my PSVR the most.
There are
Matt
a good few people
Marjanovic
who are like that.
says, so until the next gen is fully out, I think I will play my PSVR the most still. I think
That's
PS5
cool.
and the new PSVR 2.0 will be the way to go later also.
Yeah, we may have quite some wait for the PSVR 2. We don't know when that's going to be. I'm reckoning about a year after the PlayStation 5 comes out, we will see details for a PSVR 2. Right, let's see if I can control this beast any better this time, 'cause this is crazy. And I do
Matt
so wish we had
Marjanovic
things.
says, which steering wheel are you using?
This is a Logitech G29.
TGK2K says,
So looking forward to Iron Man VR.
Iron Man's control system is really good. I really enjoyed what I got to play of Iron Man. Wow. DRS, like this car has DRS. No, 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 no. Let's just try and get around Monza. Oh, this is a beautiful experience. The intensity of the clarity of this is just so wonderful.
TGK2K says,
You got to be so gentle on the gas, lol.
Oh yeah, you do. It's just amazing. Oh. Oh yes. I don't care that I'm last. I get to do things like this is just a pure joy.
TGK2K says,
This is making me feel like getting my wheel out and playing F1, but it's too late, lol.
Sorry, dude. Oh. Oh, it's so beautiful. Four-wheel slide. Nope. Amazing stuff. Felt it slide sideways there. That was amazing. I thought I could get him, but I couldn't. Oh, that is just amazing. Oh. I just this is what makes VR so great, and whenever you get something that jumps the resolution
Matt
up and stuff like
Marjanovic
that, it really
says,
does.
which cable are you using exactly to hook your Quest to your PC? Also, how much scale room do you have?
I am using an Amazon Basics 3.0 3 meter cable. So Amazon Basics USB 3 3 meter cable. I also have another extension which I can't remember the exact thing of, but basically there you go. That's the one that you really need. There's a lot of information out there over what cables work and what don't already. I've got to do this once
David
more.
998,877 says, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Okay. Yeah. We're not looking at that route. Right. Oh. Look at this, though. Look at this. Let's see. Right. I've got to try this once more, and then I'm definitely off of the air.
TGK2K says, damn, I need to get a PC VR long.
I understand. Oh, I locked the wheels up there. Oh, that was a good start. That was a good start. This is so addictive. Restart that because I so locked the wheels up there. That was.
Matt Marjanovic says,
Oh.
so best VR bang for the buck. What would you recommend to your users?
It very much depends. That's a very complicated question, one that we went over a lot on the VR Link. If you have a PS4 and you don't have a PC, then the PSVR is definitely a really good buy. If you don't have a PS4 and you don't have a PC, then the Quest is definitely the way to go because it's the only real viable option at the best, lowest price for the best quality of VR that you can get without having a PS4 or a PC. If you have a gaming PC, then it really boils down to if you want to be able to take the Quest, take a VR headset out with you and have that ease of use, or if you want it purely to be tethered PC, The tethered PC experience is the best in terms of what you can get for games available and the quality of titles, and is very good value from the Oculus Rift. But if you're wanting to also have the portability, the Quest is a great thing to be able to show off to your friends, to, you know, for little bits here and there, for that freedom of movement that you can get as well on its standalone games, but then also to be able to gain access now to a PC library via the Oculus Link is an amazing addition to what is already an incredible headset. So it really does depend on those factors and how much money you've got and how much money you think is reasonable. But best bang for the buck, if you've got a PS4, best for the bang for the buck is going to be a PSVR still, and there's some incredible, amazing games on that system. If you've got a PC and you want to only be tethered, then the Rift S is an amazing headset. If you want to be able to do tetherless, then the Quest, especially if you don't have a console, a PS4, or a PC, the Quest as a standalone thing is an amazing experience with some really great games and a really good future ahead of it as well, because there's lots coming in 2020. And similarly, if you then have a PC and you still want that portability, it can be used the PC with games like Assetto Corsa here to astonishingly good effect. So there you have it. There's my sort of opinion on that. I have to do this one more try. Getting the start on this type of car is so difficult.
TGK2K says,
I even took my Quest to the doctors last year, lol.
Matt Marjanovic says,
I wish the Quest had a portable way to have a Steam map, then I could play all my Steam games, then I would be in for sure.
Well, that's the power of a PC, but that's not going to come for a long time. That's the point of a PC, because these are highly demanding games. Some of the games that are out there just on the Quest, though, is incredible. The Quest native version of Superhot VR is the best version of Superhot, without a doubt, because its graphics are very simple, it suits it really well, and that freedom of motion for playing a game like Superhot VR is unparalleled. It really does depend on what type of games you're playing to what you look at.
TGK2K says,
Beat Saber is really good on the Quest as well.
Yes, though I haven't bought into Beat Saber on the Quest because I already own it on PSVR and on Steam and on Oculus. So I wasn't going to buy it a fourth time for Oculus Quest. Shame, but there you go. And again. Oh, cool. Well,
TGK2K says, I got it twice for the PSVR and Quest.
yeah, like I say, I've got it 3 times just because, unfortunately, I bought it and played on the Quest on the PC before I knew that I needed the Steam version to be able to do mixed reality streams via Live. So I then had to buy it again through Steam to be able to do the mixed reality streams that I did. Right, this will be the last one because then I really do have to get
TGK2K
off and get
says,
some sleep in.
It's a lot of money to put out for one game.
Exactly, and yeah. Obviously, Beats Games did not give me any of my copies. I paid for them. And it's the same for a lot of games that I have, so it's not exactly the cheapest thing. So when I do get games from developers, it is most grateful. Though they don't always get like the reviews or the playtime that I would like to give them, but that's unfortunately the nature of the beast. Right, let's see if I can get a better start this time.
Matt Marjanovic says, I don't want to rebuy any Steam games is why I don't want a Quest, but I do like the tethered Quest idea, but my CV1 is good enough for that, I think.
Oh. That was so scary. That was so wrong. I'm glad I've got the damage turned off. Oh, somebody... They got vengeance on me. It's so hard to control this car when it's been on the grass. I'm just going to go around this one last time. There's the track here. We're not going to care about the race.
Great tantrum says, how is the quality?
The quality is insanely good. It really is. Up to the visual fidelity of a Vive Pro. That's it. Once you push the resolution scale up. So yeah, it's awesome, man. Oh.
Great tantrum says, so better than a Riddesel, do you know? TGK2K says,
Hi, Tantrum.
No, not better than Rift S. Rift S screen looks better than the Vive Pro. Rift S screen looks better than a Vive Pro for definite.
Great Tantrum says, hello TGK.
That was very rough.
Great Tantrum says, sadly there is new wireless VR coming that also can do wireless VCVR. It sounds like good news.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is insanely good, but obviously the mileage that you're going to get in terms of performance per game is different from game to game. But, you know, you do have to look in that link down below in the description to up the resolution, because the standard settings from the with the Oculus Quest and the Quest Link will not give you this level of clarity. Wrong corner. I forgot what corner I was on. Oh, you're talking about the Pico VR. That's not a consumer product, dude.
Great Tantrum
They're not
the
selling.
refresh rate also helps with performance.
The refresh rate does help for the performance on this. Having that actually lower refresh rate does help the performance. But if you have a computer that can actually do the 90, it would be nice in future releases of
Matt Marjanovic
feature if you could actually select that.
I wonder if this bump-uppable resolution could hurt the headset or make it hot at all. I also would wonder about long-term effect. Would it be like overclocking or PC?
No, not really. 'Cause, I mean, this is all cool. It's, you know, the processing side of this is the same as, you know, watching a video for the Quest.
Matt Marjanovic says, is your headset getting hotter than normal?
No. It's cooler playing a PC game than it would be in standalone mode. In standalone mode, it would get a lot hotter than this. Very mind, I do have a fan pointing directly at me though.
Great tantrum, says. So the Piconio 2 is not for us.
No, Pico Neo 2 is not for us. They will not sell it to us home consumer people. They are aiming it at business to business, all that type of side of things only. They are not aiming it at a consumer market at all. So yeah, you're out of luck if you're thinking about the Pico Neo 2 being a consumer headset. As far as I'm aware, everything that's been said about the original Pico Neo, the original Pico, the Neo 2 and Neo I ones, because there's two variants. They got one that's just straight up 6'd off, and they've got one that's got Tobii eye tracking built in. It's a very interesting headset as well. I like the idea of controllers. I'd be interested to see how their controllers perform, because they are magnetic field-based controllers, and magnetic field-based technology for VR is something that I've always thought was a good idea.
PSVR is said to have an FOV of around 100 and Quest has around 90, and I noticed it quite a bit.
No, they're both around the same. Though the PSVR's lens arrangement is actually a little bit nicer, so it very much depends on where your DPI is, how far you can have the headset in or away from your head. But pretty much the PSVR, the Oculus Quest CV1, and they all have about the same, including the Vive. Well, the Vive and the Vive Pro have 110, but I could never get on too well with the Vive. That always ended up seemed like a smaller field of view to me. The Vive Pro, on the other hand, that can definitely see the full field of view.
For some reason on Vive and Rift it has the looking through binoculars effect for me though.
Yeah, it does, and that's because of the lenses on the PSVR have a slightly wider angle at the top and the bottom. So it's more of a square sort of format that comes out towards the edge. Whereas they do have more of a rounded, slightly more rounded profile on the Rift and the Vive and the Quest. So yeah, they do have that slight more binoculary feel at the edge, like there is a definite rounded black circle edge to them. But in terms of field of view, it's still pure side to side is still at the max point. So there's a different restriction at the top there. That's part of the differences as well. Of course, if you go to something like a Star VR, where you've got a 200-degree field of view, or well, up to 220-degree field of view by 135.
So for comfort and that trickery of the FOV feel is what I wish the nicer headsets would adopt, but I think because of patents they cannot do that.
There's different things they can do. The Index does some great things there. The Index is obviously about anywhere from maybe 20 to 30 degrees more FOV than the Vive Pro. So, you know, you're looking at about 130 degrees of FOV in the Index. But Anyhow, I'm going to wrap this up for this evening, I think. Can I press one of the other buttons here to get out of the car? Over the pit there.
Matt Marjanovic says, I wish the index was not LCD though, that is a negative for me. TGK2K
No, that's
says,
not bad.
thanks for the stream.
You have to remember that you're going on about PSVR. PSVR is LCD as well. The screen in the index is LCD with a much higher clarity, much higher resolution, much higher refresh rate, much higher latency speed than the PSVR screens. So that's not an issue. And most, like the Rift S as well, is also LCD. A lot of them go that way because of what it brings and what the PSVR proved, that you didn't have to have the highest resolution to actually get some very good clarity.
Matt
Because of
Marjanovic
the striping there.
says, I would love the index for sure, but the price is the only reason there.
Oh yeah, the price is very high. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to shut the
Great Tantrum
bot voice down now.
The PlayStation VR has a 5.7-inch OLED panel.
But it's RGB stripe. It's RGB striped. It's not pentile. Pentile, dude. But it's RGB striped. And it's I don't think it was OLED. It's,
Great Tantrum says, it is RGB OLED.
Okay. There you go. Cool.
Great Tantrum says, PSVR is the only OLED VR with RGB.
I thought the Pimax 4K also had was OLED, as they described it with RGB, but had terrible latency and was a horrible headset. Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to have to change away from this, otherwise I'll get drawn into discussions and would
Matt
have to look up
Marjanovic
stuff there.
says, thank you for the stream and chatting with all of us and putting up with
Okay,
us
cool.
also. It's been great. Great
Cool.
Tantrum says, it is the only one I know of, hee hee.
Okay. Right, let's see. So that's the speech unthinged. I'm sorry about that, but I do want to put a conclusion right here at the end of the video for some people. Where's the button gone? There is a button here somewhere. I'm missing a button. Okay. Right. Thank you all for joining. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, well, let's put the conclusions here. So, what I wanted to show here was a really good use in combination of the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Link through the Steam VR version of Assetto Corsa, using Content Manager there as well. Now, you can see in the description below the instructions that I use to increase the resolution of my Quest Link to my Oculus Quest, and that's here. The important things being to get this distortion curve and the encode resolution to the right thing there, and then the pixels per display override right for your PC. Okay, so with that in mind, I've got a really good, powerful PC, so I was able to set this distortion curvature to low, which in this case, lower is better, higher is worse. The encode resolution width is what the video is encoded at. I think it's post distortion encoded to 2912, and then the per pixel display pixel override, or pixels per display pixel override, sorry, is a per degree setting. So 1.2 equates to 44% increase. 2 would increase to 300%. So you got to watch out for that. But this is the setting that I've used here, and for Assetto Corsa itself, I've pretty much maxed out everything. I've tried it without any alterations and thought that it looked close to or just slightly marginally better than the performance I would expect from a CV1. The other settings in between I haven't tried out. So I've gone from the absolute default, which I thought looked slightly better than a CV1, to this, which is the current max setting that the Oculus developers have recommended. And this looks much more like the display that I would expect of a Vive Pro. So this is amazing to me. I think it shows great potential for the future of what can be done here. And that's pretty much where I'm going to go for that one. I'm going to show you some other stuff as well. I have tried this with DCS World, and again, I thought the results from DCS World are particularly good with this headset, especially with the lower frame rate requirement. It means that you can have a nicer, smoother experience, and I had a really good, smooth experience with a very good resolution and able to read cockpit instrumentation with ease with these high settings, the higher spec settings for the Oculus Link when using the Quest and DCS World. And that's going to be it from me from tonight. Thank you everybody who's joined in chat. If you've given likes, I don't know, I don't check that stuff out. If you are just joining, or you know, it's the first time watching my channel, please think about subscribing. I'm basically want to get to that 1k. It would be great to get to that 1k this year. Subscription buttons over there. There'll be another video to watch, like up there, and there'll be another video to watch up there. And that's good night from me. And remember, the brake is the pedal on the right. No, it's not. It's the one in the middle. I've got them there. The brake is the pedal in the middle, the accelerator is the one on the right, and the other one's the clutch, if you need to use it. Good night, and thanks for joining.